and to see it. I think it does take star power, and we're seeing how the value of that in the Caitlin Clark.
Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not.
Ever been told you're not good enough? Caitlin Clark knows the feeling, but she didn't just prove her critics wrong, she shattered records doing it. Let's talk about how Clark turned doubt into fuel for the most epic rookie season ever. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Remember when Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA? The skepticism was real. Even WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops said Clark would have a tough time adjusting. Ouch. But here's the thing, Clark didn't just adjust, she dominated. You know what's crazier? Those same legends who doubted her, they're eating their words now. Imagine going from she'll struggle to she's changing the game in one season. That's Caitlin Clark for you. But this isn't just about proving people wrong. Clark is redefining what's possible for a rookie in the WNBA. She's not just fighting for respect, she's setting a whole new standard. And trust me, you're gonna want to see how she did it. Remember when rookies were supposed to take time to adjust? Clark clearly didn't get that memo. She stepped onto the court and started shattering records like they were made of glass.
It has been in the WCAS. A historic season in terms of viewership, numbers, attendance, and then so many different records being smashed.
But here's the real kicker. Which of her mind-blowing stats do you think left even WNBA veterans speechless? Let's talk about Clark's rookie season, because it's not just good, it's historically insane. We're talking 769 points. That's not a typo. She broke Simone Augustus's rookie scoring record of 744 points set back in 2006. But Clark wasn't done there. Oh no, she was just getting started. You know how some players are great scorers and others are playmakers? Clark said, why not both? She dropped a jaw-dropping 19 assists in a single game against the Dallas Wings. That's a WNBA record, folks. Not a rookie record, a league record. She's out there making veteran all-stars look like they're playing catch-up. But wait, there's more. Clark averaged 19 points per game. That's impressive for any player, let alone a rookie. And she led the league in assists with 8.5 per game. You heard that right? A rookie led the entire WNBA in assists. That's like a freshman showing up to calculus class and teaching the professor a thing or two. Now let's talk about making history. Clark became the first rookie ever to rack up 400 points, 100 rebounds, and 150 assists in a single season. That's not just good, that's changing the game. She's redefining what we expect from first-year players. And just when you think you've heard it all, Clark goes and does something no one in WNBA history has ever done before. She became the first player to score 700 points, dish out 300 assists, and sink 100 three-pointers in a season. That's not Rookie of the Year material. That's MVP conversation right there. You want to know how good Clark really is? Here's a quote that says it all. Caitlin Clark is already one of the WNBA's best players. Not one of the best rookies, one of the best players, period. She's not just living up to the hype, she's creating a whole new level of expectation. Creating a new level of expectation is one thing, but changing the minds of WNBA icons, that's a whole different ballgame. Let's talk about how Clark turned her biggest skeptics into her loudest cheerleaders. Remember Cheryl Swoops, the WNBA legend who doubted Clark's ability to transition to the pro level?
Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not.
Well, she's singing a different tune now. Swoops had to eat her words, admitting, I made a mistake on what year this is for you. I also have nothing but respect for you and your game. That's not just a change of heart, that's a complete 180. But Swoops isn't the only WNBA great who's been blown away by Clark's rookie season. Becky Hammond, one of the sharpest minds in basketball, couldn't help but gush about Clark. She said, I think she's amazing.
I think she's amazing. I watched every time I possibly could. In our league,
and mentioned she's been watching Clark closely all season. When a coach of Hammond's caliber is keeping tabs on you, you know you're doing something right. And then there's Candace Parker, the two-time WNBA MVP, knows a thing or two about dominating on the court. Here's what she had to say about Clark. You talk about players that change the game when they're on the court.
Continue to push it forward. She's selling out every arena she's going to, and you know, obviously the WNBA is excited to bring her.
I don't think we've seen anything like that in women's basketball. That's not just praise. That's Parker saying Clark is in a league of her own.
And to see it, I think it does take star power, and we're seeing how the value of that in the Caitlin Clark.
And I think that's what she's done for the game, you know, in general. I don't say women's basketball, I say the game of basketball, period.
But it's not just the old guard that's impressed. Sabrina Ionescu, one of the WNBA's brightest young stars, is excited about what Clark brings to the league. She said, what Caitlin's been able to do in the college game, she's changing the game of basketball. When your peers are hyping you up like that, you know you're doing something special. Even the record holders are tipping their hats to Clark. Ticha Penicheiro, whose assists record Clark broke, had nothing but love for the rookie.
Tisha here, congratulations. A record that stood since 1998, and you come here and you break it. Super proud of you. I know the work that you put in.
She congratulated Clark, saying, I know the work that you put in. Continue to elevate your game in the women's game.
Teammates better. So this record is in great hands, and continue to do what you do. Continue to elevate your game and the women's game and the WNBA.
That's sportsmanship at its finest, folk. And if you're still not convinced, listen to what Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo had to say. She called Clark's rookie season remarkable and predicted she'd be a first-team All-WNBA performer. That's not just Rookie of the Year talk, that's best in the league territory. But perhaps the most telling praise came from Cynthia Cooper. The four-time WNBA champion referred to Clark as the future of basketball. Not just women's basketball, basketball period. When legends start talking about you like that, you know you've arrived. Clark's not just impressing legends, she's rewriting the playbook for an entire franchise. Remember when the Indiana Fever were WNBA bottom dwellers? That feels like ancient history now. How did one rookie spark such a dramatic change? Let's talk about the Indiana Fever's transformation. Before Clark, they were struggling. Now, they're playoff contenders. That's not just a little improvement, that's a complete turnaround.
Caitlin Clark is changing the game. She has thanked her for bringing light to the sport of women's basketball.
Well, I just want to continue to see her growth for us being a leader, right? We know that she could hoop. We know that she could score the ball. We know that she can make others around her better.
And it's all thanks to Clark's leadership and skills on the court. Since the Olympic break, Clark's been putting up numbers that would make any veteran proud. We're talking 22.6 points, 7.8 assists, and 5.4 rebounds per game. That's not just good. That's game-changing. And the Fever? They're riding that wave all the way to potential playoff glory, but it's not just about the stats. Clark's taken on a vocal leadership role that's been key to the Fever's success. Head coach Christy Sides has given her the green light to call plays and guide her teammates. Imagine that. A rookie basically running the show. And you know what? It's working. The Fever's offense has gone from meh to wow. They're now one of the highest ranked teams in offensive rating. Why? Because Clark's dynamic playmaking is opening up opportunities for everyone on the court. She's not just scoring, she's making her entire team better. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, Clark leads the league in turnovers with 164, but here's the thing. That's part of her aggressive game-changing style. She's not playing it safe. She's taking risks.
You're able to have sellout crowds to come and see you play. You have student sections that hate you, that want you to lose.
Pushing boundaries, and sometimes, yeah, it doesn't work out. But when it does, it's magic. And get this, Clark's impact goes way beyond the court. Sabrina Ionescu, another WNBA star, said it best. She's selling out every arena she's going to. Think about that. One player is boosting attendance across the entire league. That's not just good for the Fevers, it's good for women's basketball as a whole. But what really sets Clark apart is her ability to perform under pressure. Kelsey Plum, another WNBA standout, put it perfectly. It's really cool to see somebody just not be afraid of the moment. Clark doesn't shrink when the lights get bright. She shines even brighter. You know what's wild? People aren't just talking about Clark winning Rookie of the Year anymore. There's serious buzz about her making the All-WNBA first team. That's not just rookie territory, that's best in the league conversation. Let's talk about how Caitlin Clark went from doubted rookie to WNBA superstar. Remember when people said she'd struggle? Yeah, that didn't happen. Instead, she's breaking records left and right and changing the game. But here's the thing, Clark's not just about the stats. She's inspiring a whole new generation of players. Sabrina Ionescu said it best. What Caitlin's been able to do in the college game, she's changing the game of basketball. That's huge. And get this, Candace Parker thinks Clark is putting on a show every time she steps on the court. That's not just good for Clark, it's good for the whole league. You know what's crazy? We might look back at Clark's rookie season as the moment women's basketball changed forever. Cynthia Cooper called her the future of basketball. Not just women's basketball, all of basketball. That's insane.